There's a special part of the writing process that happens after the messy first draft has been finished, when things begin to piece together in new ways, and the story just seems to fall into place. When I first started the first draft of the story, I wasn't sure it would ever come together. And it was like I had the idea, but I wasn't sure how to put all of the pieces together in a way that made sense. I don't want to plan too much of this story. I want to see what happens when I let things flow. I'm sure many others can relate to this when you just have these feelings of doubt, really, about your own writing. And instead of scrapping it, I kept going and I kind of just wrote through those feelings anyway. And now I'm seeing the story like transform in front of my own eyes. And it's something where I found sometimes it takes a lot of uncertainty before you find your groove. I think I avoided this story writing it because it was something that the idea I had, I felt was so good, and I didn't want to mess it up by writing it. Knowing that I'm going to publish it has brought up a lot of feelings of insecurity. But what I found is the more I keep pushing through those feelings, the better things get. The first edit that saved my story was culling a lot of the unnecessary characters. Well, all of the unnecessary characters. Even though I knew I was writing a short story, like for some reason I wasn't thinking about the amount of characters I had written. And so I worked it down to just 5 characters, and I feel like that's a good number. The more you rewrite and edit the story, the more you find new ways to put the pieces together. So in a way, editing a story can look a lot like butchering it. You take out entire chapters, entire characters, you swap dialogue, you do all sorts of things. You may even have to go back and rewrite entire sections of the story, and it can be a very tedious process, but in the end you come up with something new, something unique, something that really kind of fits together in a way that you hadn't seen before. It's a very beautiful process to watch and to experience. The second edit that saved my story was spreading out the introduction of the characters. I needed to spread out the introduction of the characters. I was introducing them way too quickly, and if you go look at the original first draft that I had written, which I have a link to in the description, there's just so many characters, and they're all introduced like in rapid succession, which I wasn't really thinking about when I was writing it. I was just like writing what came to my mind. So this is, the part of the editing process that the whole point of it is just to find those things that you weren't thinking about at the time and to make them work. So I used to take the doubt I felt and use it as evidence as to why I should scrap a story. But now I just try to give the story a chance. I put the doubt on pause until the draft is finished, and then I can see the bigger picture. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you found something helpful from this. I would love to know your editing process, the tips that you have, what you find you struggle with, all of those things. I would love to know. So leave it in the comments down below, and I will see you soon.